Saturday showdown. D plus Kia versus Gen G Esports.
Would be okay in this draft. Has a lot of scaling. GP.
Or just Gangplank. Just Gangplank is fine. Sometimes you just need a bit of Pirate.
And the Ziggs is going to get locked here for Teddy. A little bit riskier.
That is a Showmaker pick, though, and this is... I mean, I wouldn't want to play it into Taliyah. Tell you that much. That does not sound like a whole lot of fun. Akali does a lot of dashing around, and Taliyah does a whole lot of I don't want you to dash around. We'll just have to see where Lucid's going to get to on the map. So jump into the rift, game one. Glad you've got a bit of day off there, Valdez. I'm sure you're in chat or something like that.
Let's grasp Gangplank with Jack of all trades. Demolish taken as well. So a lot of power in the sides if left alone. It's down here. That's going to whiff. Doing a great job of it so far as Rascal's getting pushed in. Lucid's up here.
This is a big dive angle. Rascal down to 300 health, and that is a free demolish proc, and Rascal is zoned away from the wave.
Yeah, there was nothing subtle about this gank, was there? It's like, you're walking away from the turret, actually. I'm just going to walk straight up to it. There are two people in your lane now.
This composition, outside of the fact that it lacks physical damage a bit, which is not something we're used to saying all that much with the amount of double 80 carries we've been seeing, but set up. They do have a Gnar in the midst of it, though. Gangplank a little bit later on the rotation, but does have Cannon Barrage up and available. Double grubs going to be taken by DRX. Lucid might be able to get one, but there's a seismic shove onto Kellen. He's going to have to flash to get out of the way. The Ignite now ticking down. That is going to be 3 grubs going over to DRX. Nicely played.
As the Ziggs is going to scale really well, but I think if you mess it up as D+, there's so many ways this can go wrong. As Sponge is coming up here right now, does have ult and flash.
Yep, Kingen does have oranges. The little hop does come in. You can actually oranges out of that one as Kingen's looking to keep himself alive. It does not work. And Sponge going to punch him in the back of the head and grab first blood. Yeah, maybe it was Orcs' opportunity to talk about the opportunity.
Kingen is way up here with no flash.
Does he have more oranges? That is the question, as Pled is just going to walk towards him. Barrel is going to come on through here as Rascal's throwing the boomerangs down, and yeah, there's a Vi here once again. And Kingen is very, very much going to be dead. Well, it's going to take a while, and then he's going to be dead. There he goes. There he goes. He's dead now.
Teddy gets the kill, and that's a Ziggs in the side. Uncontested aiming will get some plate gold again here, bottom side. But they're going to get a lot of value up here with the Ziggs, and the whole turret will go down whenever Teddy decides to satchel it. There it is.
Yeah, barely even needed to be honest, because they were making swift work of that turret.
This composition doesn't have great engage, and they haven't been able to take skirmishes. The DRX are just playing the map better right now, just avoiding D+. The power this comp has, and it's really, really high damage out at Rascal.
Yep, Rascal is in a bit of trouble here. There's the flash handshake. Big Gnar comes down as now Rascal gets underneath the turret, but the Fate's Call is going to get that knock up. Lucid looking to tank the turret for them, but it's not going to be the kill onto Rascal this time around, and aiming almost just dies.
As this is just a fantastic Gnar here. He has his Gnar bar at 89. See what he also says.
Just throws all 3 of them back.
죽긴 하겠다.
I think I'm going to die.
잘하는데?
But he does not.
죽었는데? 까비.
Has a bit of a giggle.
He was hoping that aiming was going to go down as well, but unfortunately for him, he did not.
Yeah, and Lucid just hasn't been the proactive player that we've seen him as for quite some time, you know. Hasn't been able to find the angles as Pletter is now going to get hand shook back. There's the Arctic Assault. They get the Permafrost onto the Leona there as well, and normally don't engage onto a Leona, and maybe that is still going to be the case here as Showmaker gets into the Shroud, and my god, the damage from the Gnar is massive, but the answer is still going to be there from DRX, from D+. As Teddy, can he land these water balloons? That's the question. The answer is no. Doesn't quite have the arm for it here in the LCK, or just everywhere.
Yeah, generally not a good idea.
Yeah, generally not. As Lucid is over the Weaver's Wall. Yeah, who is going to be able to move on in, though. You can see they just want to get towards this soul point. Let's see whether Lucid can get there. And they are able to set it up for the Rent. Great handshake there as well. As Sponge finds himself in no man's land. The snipe is beautiful, and Kellen's Renata, man. Doesn't matter the game state, you can always find an angle. As now Rascal, speaking of angles, is heading towards this mid lane where the Rift Herald has done so much work. This should be another turret. Yeah, it will be.
Yep, there's the satchel. Bye-bye.
Certainly something that these champions can do as barrels come on down. That is a tanky Sejuani, but maybe not tanky enough as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. But oh my goodness, the hostile takeover is too powerful. And there's Showmaker with the perfect execution. Not able to quite backflip over the wall though, but still, D+ looking for more. Satchel to try and keep Teddy safe, and it will be able to do so for now. But now we're seeing the power. Sees them and then Q's over the wall. He wants out of here, as Kingen maybe wanted out of here as well, as he's going to use the oranges. Flash does have the cannon barrage down. They're taking so much damage onto the turret. Kingen takes the first one. Now Rascal's gonna die. It's a double kill for the Gangplank from the grave. Somehow Kellen lands that handshake. I don't know how he does it. Go-Go Gadget hands or something.
And it's just a disaster here. Great handshake from Kellen. Speaking of...
Yeah, there's another one. Pletter is gonna have to flash to get himself out of the way, as the barrel not quite in there, as maybe Kingen's overextended now, but the hostile takeover through the entire choke point, and Rascal can't do it this time. Yeah, who's gonna get knocked up? The Ren should be there, the Pierce certainly is, but the Mega Inferno Bomb is massive, and Teddy picks up a double. Cue the yakety sax. This game is going completely bananas.
It definitely is. At the end of the day, though, you could see the power of D+ just sitting these chokes.
That really hurts. All right, Trial by Fire needs to come through for that big damage, and aiming just says it doesn't need to be there. Hostile takeover, and Rascal, he flashed before. He doesn't have it available now, as Kellen will be punished. But that is a 2-for-1, and yeah, Teddy might be fed, but they're just not fighting where he can do anything about it.
Yeah, he's fighting in chokes only, Pleto.
Oh, okay, Showmaker diving on in. That is the entire kitchen sink down on top of Showmaker, but he'll go into his shroud, and he might just be okay. The backflip over the wall, the Arctic Assault to do the same thing as Kingen. He is still looming in the brush, but doesn't find the barrel chain.
I guess they didn't have vision of that. It's over here.
Rascal teleported to the bottom lane.
That's not it.
Oh no, that means he's definitely not going to be here for this fight. Let's see whether Teddy can get a Mega Inferno Bomb over. He does have it available, and he is in range, but this is just dead. It's just gone. Went down to 83, but it doesn't seem to matter because there was no one in the pit. And Rascal does have a Nabar in a decent position, and I guess you could argue that Elder is more important, and it absolutely is, as now Pletter with the Eclipse is able to tank up a few of these barrels. The 3-man to come through, and now the Cannon Barrage on top of it. Teddy's the target, but he is able to get himself out of there with that Seraph Shield. Showmaker's looking for him, though. There's a 5-point strike, and now the perfect execution. This should be the cleanup for D+. And there is no response from DRX, and I think D+ might just try and push through.
Very clean fight for D+ in the latter half of the game, just playing the map better. DRX had a huge lead, lost all the dragons though, couldn't contest, couldn't break through the barrels as Rascal.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Rascal's going to be surviving this one. Oh, maybe he is, because D+ are distracted by the base.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit more interested in killing the Nexus than killing the Yordle there, as Kellen's going to stop his backs as well. He can't even get home.
Just shaking his hand over and over again. He will get gnawed into the wall and likely loses this 1v1. But maybe the base will die first, as Pletter's being ignored at the same time. There is the death for Kellen as Mega Inferno Bomb comes on through, but it is 2 turrets and a deadly owner, and then the Nexus goes down. D+ pick up the win in the end. The Akali, very similar thing. He can pick it at any moment. I'm like, if he's feeling it,
look at these
then
damage
he's going to win. As yeah, the damage numbers aren't necessarily there. They are for Kingen though.
But Aphelios is going to be the answer. It's not...
This guy's champion. See what he can do with it as we jump onto the Rift for game number 2.
Then the Aphelios will just blast the Leona if she does walk into a handshake, and right. And that's the reason why I mentioned the Lucian, because it's pretty terrible with Renata, but he just likes to pick these sometimes.
Ooh, flash out of the seismic shove here, as Showmaker does take a fair bit of damage back, but didn't have to use his flash in that instance. Sponge in the area, and so Showmaker could be punished once again, as Lucid, I think, knows that Sponge is somewhat in the area. Arctic Assault not going to quite land here, as Lucid looking to get away. Permafrost not going to quite get in there. Yahoo was out of lane. That's why Lucid's playing with so much respect.
Really huge that doesn't hit us.
Whoa, that's a very long-range Zenith blade. Great handshake to try and get them away from aiming, as Teddy chasing after Kellen here momentarily. That is still cleansed down on the side of aiming. Yeah,
aiming 3.
Amy and Kellen are keeping them low as well, as we can see. Teddy does have a biscuit as Lucid's making his way in. There's the Eclipse. Great handshake and first blood onto Teddy, and I don't think they're done just yet. They're going to try and set up for this kill here, as Aiming's the one that picks up the aggro. He'll get away from the turret, though, as the teleport does come on through. Aiming just walks it off. And that is a plate going down in the meantime as well. But if D+ can continue the momentum here, it could be a real worry as Kellen just walks towards Splitter. And they're going to trade blows and nothing too much is going to happen. Big wave stacking up here.
And unfortunately for Sponge, not much he can do. Just knowing that experience advantage he has and just pushing it forward so much with the bottom side control.
That flash was so weird, but it worked so well! Okay, Kellen! Okay, Kellen!
He's just giggling, man. He's having a bit of a giggle. Flash there. Not a great spot. This is Kellen's first-person view.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't think I need to translate.
Yeah, no translation necessary for that one.
A teleport on this Ezreal they want to punish, but it looks like he's holding it for a little bit.
Yeah, Showmaker throwing some rocks around here as in comes Lucid. There's the cease and desist. And Sponge is in a real rough spot. There's the flash forward. The threaded volley comes down. Yahoo is in position though. Showmaker does get the kill, but goes down immediately afterwards. And Rascal with the teleport in is going to make sure that there's nothing else to be gained, as Lucid is on a merry jaunt through the enemy jungle, and he will take the disengage cone. Shout out to Valdez, and he will be out scot-free.
Over here meanwhile, but yeah, definitely could have gone better there for D+, but at the end of the day, I think they're pretty happy with the scenario. They still have a lot of control as Showmaker comes in.
Yep, looking for Teddy now as well as he's on these rocks. Can Arcane shift out of them, but I don't think it's going to matter. He is going to go the other direction, tries to throw down as many abilities as possible, but Lucid says Vault Breaker. And Teddy is going to be lying on the floor. So DK now moving that lead further forward. Drake has just spawned as well. Showmaker moving up there, does have Weaver's Wall at the ready, so he can be there at a moment's notice. Sponge and Yahoo just going to be taking down this blue buff. And I think that Shelly should just go over to D+ here without too much of a response from DRX outside of Rascal going for a shove in that bottom lane. Teleport's available for Showmaker. I don't know whether they really want to use it here to take to protect this turret that is...
It's donezo.
Yeah, it's really basically just standing there already dead. Sponge going to be spotted here. There's a wallop. Nara into the wall there at the same time as Vault Breaker comes on in. Rascal, relatively tanky though, and so is Showmaker seems to be completely fine. Rascal continues to be toyed with here underneath the turret, and there's the hop, skip, and a jump. And there is a dead Jax. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, same thing's going to be happening here as Rift Herald was dropped and now is getting escorted by Kingin. Turret goes down on the top side, but can they actually save Kellen as a seismic shove? Oh, the handshake actually kind of wrecks Showmaker there, but it does not matter at all. Platter is still real dead, and Teddy just had to watch. They are looking to start this one up. Sponge, can he actually get himself in there? They're going to go for a contest as the teleport is coming in from Teddy. Sponge gets into the back of the pit. And D+, I don't think they're looking to flip this. I think they would prefer to go for a fight. They give up on the Drake. They say, all right, if you want to teleport for it, this fight at a moment's notice at the same time as there's the attempted escape from Lucid. He does manage to flash away and then not able to get in for the smite. So that's going to be the first Drake for DRX. Can they get themselves out of here, though? That's the question as Kingin chasing after Sponge. Cease and desist. He goes so incredibly far, but Yahoo still not able to keep himself alive. The handshake to save Lucid. He also had the bailout as the hostile takeover just barely not enough, but the double knockback on the Vault Breaker is decent. Rascal still able to take down Lucid, but I think it's still a big win for D+. And Kellen once again chasing after Rascal. What is this? This is personal beef between these two players.
Starting to feel like it, but I think it's more of a story of DRX losing objective fights and Rascal being the last man standing. He is going to be able to get the execute, it looks like here. Kellen can't catch up with him, so he's going to get it. Down he goes.
Oh,
so close.
That was really close.
Yep. D+ with just a really good read here now, slowly clearing this away. They call the bluff. DRX back off. And D+ could just sit around and scale, basically, until this next fight. And LDR second, I think a great choice for aiming Kellen.
Kellen face checks once again. This is the second time it happens as he's just going to get out. Okay, we'll take the Buster Shot taxi. And it does do a fair bit of damage, but it gets you to your location. True Shot Barrage! Kellen's like not even close.
DRX are not going to try to sneak a Baron under their eyes. Okay.
All right, there's Cease and Desist onto Teddy. Does Arcane shift, but then he falls into the seismic shove. Oh, Kellen!
Second consolation Drake, maybe. Kingin has something to say about it.
Yeah, he's able to throw a bunch of rocks in here. It's okay, they do get the dragon. over the wall now, but Showmaker looking for a little bit. Seismic shove, has to flash to get himself out of the way, but look at these Hellspaths, they're going down so quickly. And Pleta, he's going to have to be the sacrificial Leona. Lucid going to be able to take him down. They've got the Baron now, though.
Live long enough, this Ezreal is going to be a huge problem. The Jax is going to use those stats so well. Let's watch Kellen here. My God.
That was beautiful.
And they still end up getting a big win. Over here.
We got another little battle happening here, or maybe it's a big battle as Cease and Desist goes so far. It's once again the Tristana falling down though, and on the other side, the Vi is going to get rid of the Ezreal. No more damage remains. And even though they managed to get the little dragon, DRX not going to be able to find too much more. Lucid also not too worried about this whole situation as Showmaker. Cool guys don't look at explosions. And how do you feel about that trade? Is now Kingen going to get jumped on here as he just crushes away from the Solar Flare? There's the Weavers all trying to get the stragglers, and he'll find two as that's just not going to work there, Rascal. Unfortunately, the Counter-Strike doesn't work, and aiming is going to be able to pounce. Hostile takeover is gorgeous once again for Kellen. And C+, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters now. They are just walking all over DRX. And I think that this one, it's been over for a while, but I think it's well and truly over now.
It's definitely done now. DRX, a valiant attempt, but D+, gonna go up to 6-1.
And now we completely understand why the first pick buy came in 9-1-7 for Lucid. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Everybody else augmenting this composition gorgeously on D+'s side. It's still a bit of a worry, but that's enough on that. Teddy did a bunch of damage, but Showmaker did that little bit more, and D+ just in general.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POG interview translation, joined by Kellen and Lucid on the side of D+ Kia, who just secured their 4th consecutive victory after defeating DRX. Congratulations! Thank you! Kellen, this is your first POG. How do you feel?
POG를 언제 받을까 생각했었는데 오늘 POG 받아가지고
I always thought about when I will actually get POG. Feels great to get a POG, and I would like to continue getting POGs in the future. Were you satisfied with your performance? Yeah, I'm pretty content, but I got picked off a couple times, so I do have a little bit of regrets here and there. Lucid, you won your 4th series in a row and reached 600 POG points. How do you feel? It's nice to have such a good momentum as a team, and yeah, I'm a sole position of the first place of the POG standings, which makes me pretty happy. And it looks like, despite the week of break, D+ Kia's performance is still top-notch. So what did you do during the break? I hung out with some friends, and then I definitely had a lot of talk with the coaching staff regarding the match versus DRX and Gen G. And what about Lucid? I tried to recover and rest as much as I could, and in a good condition, I was able to pull off a good performance today. And in Game 1, Gangplank made an appearance after 335 days in the LCK. So how does that team feel about this pick? Yeah, we saw the Gangplank against Snar, and we knew that Kingen is just so good at playing Gangplank, so I think we were just all pushing him and encouraging him to play. Kellen, in both games 1 and 2, you took Granada and showcased a great gameplay. So what is the key point when playing against Leona? You have to actually snowball in the laning phase as a Renata, and I think it all just really played out well for us. And so by playing with Kalista and Aphelios, what did you try to do differently in games 1 and 2? I feel like Aphelios just felt a little unstable, but aiming did really well, so I think everything went pretty good. And in both games 1 and 2, we saw both teams blind pick Vi. In the current meta, do you consider Vi as top tier? I personally do believe that she is top tier, and I thought that our opponent would ban her. But since it was open, I just went ahead and played her. And Lucid, with your Vi, you had such a flashy engage. So let's take a look at this next replay.
과감하게 돌진하는 모습이 인상적이었거든요.
So you rushed in so fearlessly. Can you walk us through this moment? So Sejuani and Leona ult were the only engages that the opponents had. And I think I was able to just sort of waste their ults really well, and our team's follow-up was really on point.
마무리를 하셨습니다. 그리고 켈린 선수 역시 레나타로 정말 멋진
And
장면을
Kellen,
만들어내셨는데요. 그 장면도 보면서
You had
이야기
such an
나눠보도록
amazing
하겠습니다.
highlight with your Renata as well. So let's take a look at the
이
highlight.
장면이었습니다. 순간적으로 어떻게 노리신 건지 궁금합니다.
So here,
스펠 체크 잘 못해가지고
What reflex was
혼났는데 제가 이즈리얼 스펠이 없는 줄 알았거든요.
you know, I've never actually pulled this off.
그냥 맞으면 맞고
And I've always been scolded by my coaching staff, and I actually thought that Ezreal had his E, but thankfully he didn't, and it actually worked out really well.
두 선수를 떠올렸을 때 아마 가장 먼저 떠오르는 챔피언이 아닐까 싶은 생각이
It looks
드는데
like
서로의 바이와 레나타를 서로는 어떻게
Lucid's Bai and Kellen's Renata are your signature picks.
어떻게 보시나요?
Kellen, how would you rate Lucid's Bai?
당연히 용역의 바이는 저는 100점
Of
만점
course.
100점이라고 생각합니다.
Lucid's Bai is 100 points out of 100.
100점을 주셨는데 루시드 선수는 켈린 선수 레나타를 어떻게 보고
So
계신지
now,
궁금합니다.
Lucid, how would you rate Kellen's Renata? Kellen's really good at using his ult, and he's also really good at
네, 또 센스
drives
있는
and
이야기까지
hooks
들어봤습니다.
and engages, so I would say 100 out of 100.
기세가 좋은 D 플러스 기아인데요. 이번 주 토요일 와 뭐야?
D plus Kia is on a great momentum. That is a long message from the fan sign.
빅영 크레이지 으라차차 시네 어쩌고 저쩌고 네 엄청 길게 네 어디까지 길어질까요?
앞으로 한 200줄
So,
더 들어갈 것 같아요.
how
200줄 정도 네.
how long would you like your win streak to last? Maybe about another 200. And this upcoming Saturday showdown you have against Genji, you have so much to show.
할까요?
You saw
김건모 나와!
you saw Showmaker declare war in the last interview, right? Yeah, this is my impression. And Lucid, what is your resolution? We'll be sure to prepare for our match against Genji and show you guys everything. That's no fun. Lucid, do it again. I will do it again later. Check it out on Lucid's SNS. And that's the end of the interview from Kellen and Lucid, and back to the space. Thank you.